Hey yo, welcome back to another episode of Put 30 on the Clock. I'm Coach Phil, and as usual, let's get right into it. Let's talk about something that's been on my mind for years, and somehow I never got around to talking about it, and that is shot selection, right? You have heard this term shot selection for years yourself, and it's like, what's a good shot? What's a bad shot? There's a lot of determining factors, and I hope to touch on a few. Not to give you an exact idea of what a perfect shot is, because I don't think we can do that on a setting like this. What I hope to do is to give you a foundational understanding so that way you can sharpen up and really know, hey, that was a good shot versus a bad shot. Now, there are some of you who already know what's a good shot and what's a bad shot, but you know, you got to pretend like you don't so that you can get the shots up that you want to get up. I understand. I understand. I've seen it before. I get it. It's okay. I still love you. But for those of us who don't know, there's a few things you need to consider. The first is, what shot are you taking? Patrick Ewing has a wonderful clip of him yelling at one of his players when he was coaching at Georgetown, asking him,
"Step back one-legged. What kind of shot is that? Have you ever shot that shot? Do you work on that shot? When?"
What kind of shot was that? Do you practice that shot? The first thing, and it's one of my favorite clips, but the first thing is, what kind of shot have you taken? Is this something that you have practiced? Is this something that your team is aware of, that they know that you're good at this? Are your coaches aware that you make this shot regularly? Like, can they expect that when you take this kind of a shot, that it's got a really good chance of going in? We don't like new shots. We don't like surprises because we can't make plans with surprises. So that's the whole point of like off-season, preseason, you know what I'm saying, conditioning. That's the whole point of this. We need to see the stuff that you can do so we can budget what kind of shots we can get you in games, right? So we're not really fans of surprises because it's like, my man, how am I supposed to prepare for that? Like, at least give me a chance to know what weapons I have available to use. So do you even practice these shots? Like Patrick Ewing said. Do you even practice these shots? Now that we've covered what kind of shot is it, the next thing is like, where did you shoot that shot from? Did you take that from a spot where you're known for making it? Or did you take that from some spot where you don't really have a chance? Like, I want you to think about Dirk's one-legged fadeaway that he was so famous for, right? Dirk took his one-legged fadeaways mainly in the mid-range. You don't have much footage or any footage at all. But if you do, you don't have much footage of Dirk shooting a one-legged fadeaway for three. Because the shot is difficult enough as it is, but Dirk has proven that he can make that shot, right? But from what distance? Under what circumstances? For what purpose? So where are you shooting the shots that you're shooting, right? So I'm glad that we've already crossed the line of you being able to make the shots, but now it's like location, because I don't want Dirk taking a one-legged fadeaway from half court. That would be something he couldn't make, right? That would be a bad shot, right? You with us, right? That'd be a bad shot. Now that we know what shot we're taking and what distance, what spots, what range we're taking these shots in, we need to move into the IQ, and this is where it really gets ugly, right? Because now you have to determine not just what and where, but why. So if we're talking about Dirk taking his one-legged fadeaway, he gets to shoot that shot almost all the time because it's hard to block a fadeaway from a 7-footer who shoots with arc, right? So it's like he gets to kind of shoot that against anyone, but it's like, do I want Dirk taking that one-legged fadeaway with 19 on the shot clock? No, because with 19 on the shot clock, I have a good amount of time to see if we can get a layup. All right? As much as I would love to see Dirk shoot that one-legged fadeaway again and again and again, I think it would be much better for our offense if we could move the ball around and get an easy one. Now, if we get down to 7 or 6 on the shot clock and we weren't able to get an easy one, Now it makes sense to get it to Dirk, on the elbow, on the low post, mid post, where that one-legged fadeaway could go in, because it does very often. Trust me, we're using that shot for an example for a reason. But it's like, I don't want to go to that if I can get an easy one. What if I can get a teammate a wide open three? I don't want to go early in the shot clock if I don't have to, because we want to get as many easy buckets as we can. A quick little side note, if you're looking at like professional or college basketball, but especially professional, people say, oh, they don't play defense in the NBA. There's no real defense in the NBA. These guys, they're lackadaisical. All they want to play is offense. Well, I want you to think about this for a moment. If they didn't play defense in the NBA like that, why would everyone need to have such signature moves? Why would everyone have to come up with something brand new? Why does everyone have to have like their own thing? If defense wasn't really being played, then they wouldn't have to come up with so many different ways to score. That's just my little side note. But let's get back to Dirk's fadeaway. Can we get an easier one with so much time on the shot clock? If we could do that, let's do that before we go relying on this shot. Because no matter how cool or no matter how signature a shot is, nothing's 100%. And I really feel good about my chances of us getting a dunk or a wide open three or an uncontested pick and pop midi over Dirk's one-legged fadeaway. Because that shot, even though he's mastered it, it's still difficult. Let's get an easy one. Another aspect of IQ. If Dirk is shooting his one-legged fadeaway over two people, I still expect him to make it. Son is nice. But the point is, if he's shooting over two people, the basics of basketball still apply, despite the fact that he's played at the highest level that there is. If two people are on you, that means someone's open. So if I have a choice between Dirk shooting a one-legged fadeaway or a teammate who's 40% from three getting a wide open look, I would prefer the teammate getting the three, because we can go to Dirk's fadeaway at another time. We don't need him taking this difficult shot for no reason. Also, if we get the other teammates knocking their shots down, the defense is going to have to start respecting them more, which means you can't double Dirk anymore, and now he gets to shoot that one-legged fadeaway against one person instead of two or three defenders. So instead of relying so heavily on something that we trust, instead I'd much rather, hey, why don't we go get some other shots? Why don't we get some variety in our offense? Why don't we get some balance to our attack? That way, the defenses have to play more honest, and when they do that, we'll be ready to come back to you, Dirk, and you can one-leg fade away these guys to death. But I don't want you to necessarily have to shoot over two or three people all the time. I would much prefer that you get it to one of your professional teammates, all right, so that way they can contribute. And when it's time, when it's money time and everyone has to stay home on defense because everyone else has been cooking, hey, Dirk, we coming back to you, take us home. So the IQ of, am I going to shoot over two people? Sometimes that happens, right? Sometimes the circumstance dictates that happens. But in an ideal world, a better shot would be to get someone else the open one because you have two people on you, right? The last part is the scheme, the game plan that you have, the plan that coach has come up with. If coach wants certain things to happen at a certain time, it's for a reason. It's because coach sees that, oh, they like to double team early and try to take your superstar out of it, try to take his confidence. They like to trap all the time to try to make your superstar make her second guess herself. Maybe they just stay home because they're disrespectful. Like on high school level, they get real disrespectful when they think you can't dribble. Everybody just guard your guy. Don't even deny your guy. Don't help. We don't think they can dribble, right? Whatever the game plan is, it's like, what's the shot that they want us to take? What's the shot that we want to take? And we have to consider the shot that they're trying to make us take. We have to consider the shot that we want to take. And sometimes we have to impose our will, which means if we have somebody like Dirk with the one-legged fadeaway, they might want him to take that early and often because they know that he can't hit that shot as often as the rest of the team can get backdoor cuts and layups, as the rest of the team can get free throws, as the rest of the team can hit open threes. They might want him to take a high volume of that one-legged fadeaway, or just him to shoot a bunch of shots to freeze out the teammates. They don't have a feel for the ball. They haven't been involved in the offense. They don't have a rhythm. So was it a bad shot because he can't make it? No. Was it a bad shot because he was out of range? No. Is it a bad shot because of the shot clock? No. It might have been a bad shot because you're feeding into the other team's game plan. This might be the shot they want you to take, even though you're good at it, because it freezes everyone else out. So that one example serves to show what is coach's game plan. The people that are coaching against you and your coaches, what are the shots they're trying to make you take, and what are the shots that you want to take? You don't want to use all of your weapons or your secret weapon or your best weapon all at once. You want to be able to use it when it's best to use it. So shot selection is not just who, what, where, but it's why. And with this understanding, you'll be able to determine what's a good shot and what's a bad shot as you go along, because there's no one way to determine that, all right? And this is the kind of thing that frustrates coaches, because coaches know that, but they have a hard time articulating that in like 20 seconds. It's really hard to do that. So there really is no one way to define what is or what is not a good shot, but the more and more and more you watch the game, play the game, and you see the game objectively, not as a fan, but objectively, you come to realize what is and what isn't a good shot, and then you just find yourself with a bunch of other people who've been doing the same thing, come to an understanding that you really can't explain. All right? So this is something that takes time, and it's worth taking time, but if you're a coach, if you're a player, whatever your contribution is to the team, knowing what is and what is not a good shot is going to serve you for the rest of your basketball playing / coaching / participating career. This is Coach Phil. I appreciate you spending this time with me. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. Like, share, and subscribe. Share this with somebody you know, because you know somebody that needs this. I'll holler at y'all next time.